In the heart of West Africa lies Burkina Faso, a land often pictured through its dusty red roads and the lingering image of underdevelopment. But today, this nation has become the epicenter of a quiet yet profoundly powerful revolution.
Oh.
Is not a revolution waged with weapons, but one driven by spirit. Not a top-down government command, but a sweeping, nationwide mobilization from the bustling capital of Ouagadougou to the most remote, unassuming villages. The era of passive waiting, of idle hope for outside salvation, of dependence on distant foreign aid, is over. A seismic shift in national consciousness has taken root. This change is embodied in an extraordinary initiative called Faso Numbu. Launched by President Ibrahim Traoré, a clarion call to every citizen, urging them to become active architects of their nation's future. To build their country with their own hands, their own minds, and their collective will. In a world often swept away by the tides of globalization and external dependency, Traoré has chosen a different path. Rather than seeking endless streams of foreign aid, he has placed his trust directly in the people of Burkina Faso, and they have responded with unprecedented enthusiasm. No longer waiting passively, they are now giving their time, their labor, and their resources, not for profit, but for a powerful ideal, the belief that the future must be created by us, the people. Faso Numbu, meaning Build Burkina, is far more than another infrastructure project. It is a profound symbol of a nation taking control of its own destiny. It marks a radical departure from the old development models that leaned heavily on outside intervention. Instead, Faso Numbu champions an approach rooted in local power, placing the creativity, determination, and agency of the Burkinabè people. At its core is a bold declaration of self-reliance, proving that real progress comes from internal conviction and collective action. Under President Traoré's hands-on leadership, Faso Numbu has grown into a nationwide citizen-led movement. It brings together people from every corner of society, men and women, youth and elders, farmers, students, civil servants, traders in the informal markets. Every Burkinabè is encouraged to take part, building a deep sense of ownership and responsibility. The movement focuses on two main pillars: modernizing road infrastructure and beautifying both urban and rural spaces. Roads that were once dusty and impassable are now being meticulously paved. Streets are swept clean, intricate tiles are being laid, trees are planted, public spaces are transformed. What makes this effort revolutionary is not just what is being built, but how it is being done, not by foreign contractors or aid agencies, but by thousands of ordinary citizens. The project's model is deeply rooted in public participation. Instead of waiting for foreign grants, local communities have become the driving force. They donate construction materials, from bags of cement to truckloads of sand and gravel. They form volunteer teams, organize shifts, assign tasks. They contribute whatever they can, whether it's hours of labor, meals for workers, or simple words of encouragement. Since its launch in June 2025, Faso Numbu has spread like wildfire. Tens of thousands have joined, offering whatever is in their power to give. A teacher in Bobadou Lasso said, "I don't have much money, but I have strength. Every evening after school, I help lay tiles on the sidewalks. I do this for my child, so one day they will be proud of their city." Even the most vulnerable have found ways to contribute. A woman over 70 years old brought 5 kilograms of rice and a bottle of cooking oil to a worksite, saying, "I can't work anymore, but this is my small gift to those building our roads. It is my way of participating in my country's future." In Kaya, high school students organized a fundraiser that delivered 20 tons of cement, garbage bins, and protective gloves. "We're not just learning in the classroom," they declared. "We're learning what it means to be citizens." These are not symbolic gestures. Every wheelbarrow of cement, every brick placed, every tile fitted, is done by local Burkinabè hands. They are not just building roads, they are building belief. Belief that when united and inspired, the people of Burkina Faso can stand shoulder to shoulder with any nation in the world. The infrastructure born from Faso Numbu is more than functional improvement. It is a symbol of sovereignty and self-determination. For decades, poor infrastructure was blamed on a lack of resources or on an inability to progress without foreign intervention. Faso Nambu rejects that narrative entirely. By paving its own roads, cleaning its own streets, and beautifying its own cities, Burkina Faso sends a clear and defiant message. We are capable. We are united. We are the masters of our own destiny. The transformation from dusty tracks to smooth paved roads has improved daily life, transportation, and trade. But the deeper meaning lies in how these roads were built by Burkinabè people, using primarily Burkinabè resources. That ownership breeds pride and responsibility. When you have laid the bricks yourself, you take care of them. This creates a culture of shared maintenance and protection. Beautification efforts, planting trees, building public parks, creating community spaces, uplift quality of life, offering areas for rest, gathering, and celebration. Than that, they help erase the psychological scars of colonialism, replacing the story of outside provision with one of homegrown creation. This is more than a development project. It is a living testament that the people of Burkina Faso, united, determined, and self-reliant, can shape their own future. The nation's newfound self-belief, and its unshakable commitment to shaping its own identity and future free from external control, is now impossible to ignore. One of Faso Nambu's most transformative impacts lies in the role and empowerment of women. For generations, women in Burkina Faso had been marginalized in national development, often excluded from male-dominated fields such as infrastructure. But in this movement, they have emerged as indispensable forces at its very heart, actively redefining gender roles. Women are involved in every aspect of the work. They make tiles, pave roads, tirelessly prepare food for the workers, and even step forward to lead entire crews. Their voices carry power. One woman said, "We watched our children die in poverty. We were told our country was a failure. With Captain Traoré, we now know the future is not given, it is seized." Official data confirms this seismic shift. Over 30% of Faso Nambu participants are women, with many now serving as team leaders and coordinators. This level of involvement is not only reshaping the physical landscape, but fundamentally redefining the place of women in society, moving them from passive sufferers to active, powered nation builders. The effect ripples beyond construction sites, bringing greater respect and recognition for women's capabilities within families and communities. President Ibrahim Traoré is not just the architect of Faso Nambu, he is its most passionate champion. Leading with raw personal example, since the project began, his commitment has been unwavering. He has been seen planting trees, helping lay roads, and working directly alongside volunteers. Images of him in work clothes, shovel in hand, have become iconic, a living source of national motivation. His words match his actions. We are too used to waiting for others to help. But no one can build this country except us. Faso Nambu is not a project. It is the right and responsibility of a free people. He rejects foreign aid with hidden conditions, declaring, "We don't want someone giving us fish. We want the tools to farm our own land." Under his leadership, the country aims to pave between 2,000 and 5,000 kilometers of roads each year, powered entirely by domestic effort. But roads are only one part of the vision. Faso Nambu is integrated into broader long-term national goals: renewable energy, green urbanism, environmental protection, and sustainable, locally built housing. This represents a bold and self-reliant future, one free from the grip of multinational corporations and the subtle chains of neocolonialism. The initiative prioritizes local communities and citizens as the main builders, channeling resources and opportunities directly into the domestic economy. This stimulates local industries and small to medium enterprises, creating jobs and circulating wealth inside Burkina Faso. The large-scale citizen participation also demands a strong support network, generating new opportunities for catering businesses, transport providers, and manufacturers or repairers of tools. This bottom-up economic activity is far more sustainable than foreign-funded projects, which often drain wealth through capital flight. By building its own infrastructure, Burkina Faso avoids debt dependency, keeps financial control, and strengthens fiscal sovereignty. The focus on locally owned housing and renewable energy further boosts economic nationalism. Fostering homegrown expertise in green technologies and construction, creating entirely new sectors for domestic entrepreneurship. This shift to local production and consumption builds economic resilience. Faso Nambu is not just about roads and parks, it is about building a self-sustaining economic ecosystem that is robust, fair, and designed for the benefit of all Burkinabè citizens. Culturally, the movement is forging a new generation, triggering a deep transformation in mindset. While many African nations remain dependent on outside aid and foreign companies, Burkina Faso is charting its own course, a model of self-reliant, citizen-driven construction. Analysts are calling it the Traoré effect, a national awakening that is even inspiring the Burkinabè diaspora. Communities in France, Belgium, and Côte d'Ivoire are sending funds, cement, and tools to support the work back home. The people now understand, if they do not act today, there will be nothing to be proud of tomorrow. If they do not build today, no one else will build for them. If they do not step forward, their cities will remain in darkness. This awakening is deeply practical, visible in every shovel of dirt, every brick laid, every hour of volunteered labor. At a cement donation event, a young man wept and said, "I've laid my first brick. And you? What will you do for your country?" The question went viral on social media, sparking a surge of participation. People realized that this is not the time to wait, to complain, or to blame others. This is the time to act. Declares that only the people can make Burkina Faso beautiful, prosperous, and proud. And President Traoré, called by some the warrior god, has shown that leadership is not about speeches, but about sweat, sacrifice, and an unshakable belief in people power. Today, Burkina Faso is proving to the world that a nation, poor in money but rich in spirit, can achieve greatness, not through aid, not through empty promises, but with the hands of its own people, building a radiant future from the ground up.